Hey, what's going on? Town Business here on behalf of Dante's Boxing Nation. We're here with world-renowned trainer Virgil Hunter. How you doing today, Virgil?
Doing good. Just starting another busy day.
All right, Virgil, I was wondering, did you get a chance to see the fight? And if so, what did you think of the fight? And if you didn't get to see the fight, tell me what you heard about the fight.
This is the Golovkin-Jacobs fight?
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet. It's mixed reviews. Surprisingly, a lot of people, particularly real fight people, are saying that Jacobs won the fight. And then, you have other people. I don't read social media or what fans say, but, I do try to read all the websites at least once a week. So you have your websites picking Golovkin as the winner, and you also have some that are picking Jacobs as the winner, and you also have some that said that they wouldn't have had a problem if the fight would have went either way. So it's the good thing is it's a lot of mixed reviews that have each fighter winning, and then you have some who said they didn't have a problem with it going either way, and then you have some picking Golovkin and some picking Jacobs. So obviously it must have been a very close fight.
Well, I saw the fight myself. I thought that Daniel Jacobs did more than enough to get the victory. I thought that he boxed well. I thought at times he took Triple G off his game, and I thought at times he was more the aggressor than Triple G was. And I just thought, even if you want to do the old school rules by the champ get the benefit of the doubt, I just thought even the close rounds, Daniel Jacobs did enough to get the close rounds. And I mean, if you disregard the knockout, which was a questionable questionable knockdown, it still would be enough for Daniel Jacobs to get the decision. So I have to ask you this question, Virgil, based off what you've heard. Now Triple G is saying that the Canelo fight may not happen and that he's going to fight one more time at 160 against Sanders, and then he's going to try 168. So what do you think about him now going up to 168 now that Andre, because we know those two guys will always be tied together based off the fact he said he wanted to fight Andre. So what do you think of him finally deciding he may try his hand at 168?
Well, it would be a good move for him. I think it's a lot of competition up there at 168 that he certainly has, that he could face. My understanding that they want to win all the middleweight belts, and that they, I guess, Saunders or somebody is the last belt. So I guess they'll go that route before, and then wait and see if they get the Canelo fight before they go to 68. I have my doubts about the Canelo fight, but we'll see. But from what I'm hearing about the Jacobs fight, it seems like a rematch would be in order there, even before he would go to 68, or even before he went to Sanders. If the fight was that close, and somewhat controversial, that a rematch would probably be a good move and an option for him also.
Okay, Virgil, I know you got to get back in the gym, so I'm just going to ask you one last question. I find it funny that you brought up rematch because Abel Sanchez issued a statement and basically saying that Ward has assigned to fight Kovalev, and Kovalev has been stating that it's a contract and he's waiting on Ward. How do you feel about him saying that Andre Ward should fight Sergey Kovalev? Well, basically, Henny Ward should fight Sergey Kovalev again, but yet he had a controversial fight, but they're not talking about fighting Daniel Jacobs.
So he's saying that we should fight Kovalev again? Or that we're not going to fight
He's
Kovalev?
hinting that you guys are ducking Kovalev again.
That's interesting. How can you duck him again when we went up was forced up in the weight division, that's who we went for. I mean, why go in the division and not go for the top? Nobody had to twist the arm to fight Kovalev. We went right for him. And it's common sense tell you if Kovalev signed the contract, then his contract's out there. But because you signed yours, I mean, that doesn't give you the whatever was going on in your mind to, you know, make a determination when we should sign ours. You know, I think he'd have been wise to look at his contract and go over it thoroughly before he, you know, put his signature on it.
All right,
You know,
well,
but there's a date and there's an arena picked out. So, what is it to trumpet about?
exactly.
The fight's gonna happen.
All right, so basically, Virgil, the Andre Ward fans should basically get ready to go to Vegas again.
The fight's gonna happen. Yeah. So whatever Abel is talking about, I really don't know. He likes being in our lane for whatever reason, but that's okay. I mean, if he pays attention to us and say what we will and will not do, you know, it's just unfortunate we didn't get a chance to fight each other.
Okay, well, Virgil, I know you got to get back out there, and I appreciate you. Oh, okay.
Let's go,
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, Virgil, like I said, as you said before, you guys were never really thinking about, you know, Triple G. And Triple G, a few years ago, for some reason, he mentioned you guys' name. And then when you guys tried to make a fight, it seemed to me that they were reluctant. Do you think he was just name dropping Andre Ward just for publicity, just trying to just say he was trying to fight you when all in reality he wasn't?
You know, I have to be honest. I don't know if he dropped any names. I do know that they were willing to fight anybody from 154 to 168. And at that time, we were at 168. So when we found that out, we said, well, why not? You know, we'll fight you at 168. And it didn't have anything to do with, you know, the talk that nobody wanted to fight GGG and people were ducking him. It was, you know, legitimate fight, you know, the best fight the best. And we consider him, you know, a top fighter, one of the best, so why not? You know, but when it came to that, that's when we were met with, you know, a lot of excuses or reasons, you know, just to give them the benefit of the doubt, I'll say reasons, you know, from they had other ideas, you know, they had another plan at middleweight to get all the belts, or then when the next time you hear that, you know, the money, we would want a certain amount of money, and that's what we're supposed to do. What did they think we was going to take it for nothing? And we heard that when, and then, you know, then all of a sudden it became about a draw, you know, at the gate and all this kind of stuff. So, but I think anybody that knew boxing and knew that wherever that fight was, it was going to draw. It would have been a sold out arena, wherever it was. So they have to answer that question. You know, we were willing to fight him, and if history moves him up in weight, we'll fight him. We'll fight him there. So you know, we have unfinished business at light heavyweight. I don't know if we'll go back down, but he's not a light heavyweight. He's still a middleweight, super middleweight. So time will tell. You know, if we move back down, there shouldn't be any reason now why he wouldn't fight us. He should have a real good reason. I don't think they could use those excuses again after we finish with Kovalev, and then if we decide to move back down.
So Andre still can make 168 if need be. So it wouldn't be a problem him going back. If Triple G said we'll fight Andre Ward at 168, Andre Ward could make 168, and the fight could happen.
Of course he can make 168, and if the money's right. most definitely. He's still a super middleweight.
Okay. Virgil, one last question. I have to ask you, about the lack of respect Andre Ward gets mostly through the mainstream media. ESPN has Triple G ranked at #1, and then they have him ranked as, top 25 greatest fighters of all time. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about them not mentioning Andre Ward in the same category with Triple G when consensus say, based off what happened in November, Andre Ward won the fight against Kovalev? Shouldn't he be getting his respect and his rightful place as the #1 pound fighter in the world?
Well, I think he does from the right people, his peers. I think when you ask the critics and the journalists and the fanboys, they pretty much have the pound for pound. I would say in disarray. They don't really know who they want. They know who they don't want, but they don't know who they want. But when you talk to his peers, the fighters, his name is always #1. And we know the real deal. I mean, you can't, it's just impossible to the pound for pound, when it was really, really legit, it was who you beat, and who you fought, the competition that you fought. And after you fought that competition, what did they go on to do? Well, if you look at, we fought Edison Miranda, I believe, in our 16th fight. We fought Mikkel Kessler in our 19th fight. Okay, Kessler went on to become a world champion again. The very next fight, he took Carl Froch's title. We fought Carl Froch. He went on to be a world champion again. We fought Arthur Abraham. He went on to be a world champion again. And then there are some that, we took a lot out of that never got a chance to be a world champion. But they went on to be world champions again. And arguably, all three of the guys mentioned, Froch in particular, have a more than a better chance of making the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
So you have to consider all these things. We just went and fought Kovalev, giving up size, power, weight, height, everything, pretty much forced out of a weight class. I think the only fighter I can think of that's been forced out of a weight class. That's like telling Triple G, you can't be on the networks anymore unless you move up to super middleweight. Nobody else has had to experience that. But we had early experience in the Olympics, fighting at light heavyweight when we were middleweight. We never weighed more than 169 against 170 8-pounders. So we were confident in that, and it's just unfortunate that he gets that kind of treatment. But, that's how life is. But, it's a good thing to be grounded and know the scriptures. Like, the scriptures where there's a scripture that says, "Woe be unto you if all men speak well of you." That's a pretty distinct warning. So when you know these things, it keeps you grounded, but it also keeps you secure that things are going the way that they ought to be going.